Hello everyone, welcome to today's lesson of Drawing with Blizzard Ninja. In today's lesson, we are doing animation as well. We're doing animation again. Yes. So anyway, uh, what you call this thing? So in the previous video, I taught you guys like the 12 principles of animation, and how to apply them and stuff. But now in this video, I'm gonna teach you about the different softwares that you can use. So yeah, the most. So I'm gonna start with the one that I'm currently using, which is Krita. So in Krita, there's Krita is basically an open source software that you can download easily on krita.org. It's free. You can just download it there. And then over here, it's basically pretty simple. So you can for you to be able to, I'm gonna set this back to default. So for you to be able to animate on Krita, right? Because Krita, when you download it, it'll look like this. So what you do is you just come to Window, come to Workspace, and then you select Animation, and then there you go. Right, there you go. This is your animation workspace. So yeah, there's as I showed you, this is the timeline, that's the play button, the stop button, the fast forward. You know what I mean? Then there's the curves. Now this is basically for like maybe when you're making your backgrounds move and all that. We animating your backgrounds. And then this is like yeah, this is your timeline. It's your timeline. And then of course there's um the add frame button, the duplicate frame button, the delete frame button. And then that's your speed to check how it is. And then there's your onion skin. Your onion skin is that. So that's basically the gist of it. And then of course your drawing marks and stuff. But then again, one thing that I just wanted to urge you off and let you know of is basically the camera. You have to utilize the camera for your animations to look good, you know. So that's the thing when it comes to Krita. And then there's Clip Studio Paint. Clip Studio Paint is also another good one, but that one you need, but that software you need to pay for it. That's the only downside to it, but it's a pretty good software. You can integrate 3D backgrounds and you can draw on them manually drawing instead of manually drawing backgrounds. You can actually import backgrounds and you can just trace over them. It's a very awesome software, Clip Studio Paint. And then there's Adobe Animate, you know, this one right here. Also not a free software. It's software that needs to be paid for. So yeah, it's pretty much works the same as Krita, but the only difference is now you are actually like it's just strictly animation. You know what I mean? So it's basically animation. So that's the thing. So then you see, you choose your screen type, and then you just say create, and now there you go. There's your timeline, your tools, your canvas. You get the gist of it. You know what I mean? And then there's Blender. Blender's my one of my personal favorites. Reason being is because Blender, it's open source, number one. You can 2D animate on Blender and you can 3D animate too. That's the good thing. Because now this is your shapes. Basically, this is your shape. Then this is the 3D viewport, and then of course that's the camera. The camera. So yeah, but inside when you open the software, you'll have three objects. So you'll have the camera, the light, and the cube, the default cube. So that's basically the whole gist of it. And of course you can 2D animate. Let me show you how. So you just come over here and you click 2D animation, and there you go. There's the timeline, the tools. You know what I mean? All right. So yes, you can 2D animate on Blender. Like the thing is, you can even integrate 3D or 3D backgrounds or anything. Like you can do anything on Blender. That's basically what I love about it. There's much more. There's your Maya for 3D animation as well. There's ZBrush. There's ZBrush. I had them at the tip of my head, but they're slipping away. Of course, there's Toon Boom Harmony. There's Toon Boom Harmony, and then there's Moho. So there's a lot of animation softwares out there. But what I'm just gonna say is just start off with the free ones, because Blender's like one of the best ones out there. It does so many things. Blender does so many things. You can actually make Kung Fu Panda level type of animations using Blender. Like literally, I've seen people do crazy things with Blender. Krita as well, you can do pretty much a lot on Krita, because I myself am working on my own animated series called Sunny and the Shadow Squad, and I'm animating it on Krita. Krita is amazing. It's just now I'm gonna upgrade to Clip Studio Paint because it's much more efficient for me to use. But guys, give these softwares a try. I don't wanna lie, you won't be disappointed. Everything will work well. But then again, if you use Android to draw, um stylized, much more stylized looking characters and stuff, like to color in and all that, you use ibis paint on Android. And to animate, you can use Clip Studio, not Clip Studio Paint, Flipper Clip. You use Flipper Clip. So you can just download Flipper Clip, and then you can just and what's nice is that they're both available on Play Store. They're both free. You can just use them and just play around with them. And then there's Procreate Dreams. If you're using a tablet, an actual phone tablet, like a tablet phone. So yes, that's what you'll use that. It's called Procreate Dreams. And then the items you'll need if you're gonna animate, or you're gonna start animating. If you're gonna be on your phone, of course you just need your fingers, or you can buy a mini pen tablet that you can use, or you can buy a standard size pen tablet that's compatible with Android or iOS. But then of course you can get those tablets that do have styluses. But yes, and then there's an actual graphic pen tablet. So personally, myself, I use Parrot brand. Parrot brand is a very awesome brand for me. I've uh, I've used two of them in my life. I've used the first one was a Parrot brand tablet. It was a very affordable one. It was not that expensive. The second one that I'm currently using now is a wireless Parrot brand tablet. So I can charge it, I can connect it to my phone, I can connect it to my computer wirelessly. It Yeah, I can use it. It's not an on-screen tablet, it's an off-screen tablet. They both are, but they're both really awesome. And then there's now your on-screen graphic pen tablets. The like the Artist Gen, the XP Pen Artist Gen 22. So that like pen tablets like that, they're on-screen tablets that you can actually draw on. So yeah, you can use that, but as long as if you can draw on your PC, you can just do that. Or if you can draw on your phone, you can animate. You can actually do that. Most traditional animators used to use paper first, and then they'll transfer their drawing, then they'll actually scan their drawings, and then they'll just ink it on the computer and then color it there, and then they done. So that, and then of course, you can use Krita. Blender is gonna give you much of a challenge because I mean of its 3D interface, and Maya and ZBrush. They're gonna give you a bit of a problem because you need a GPU, you need a computer that's rocking a graphics card like a GPU for that. But then again, it's not necessary for you to actually use Blender. You can use Krita. With Krita, you can use it on any type of computer. You can use it on any kind of computer actually, because I mean it's not that heavy or demanding. It's just yeah, Krita is just easy and free for everybody to use. You can use it on any machine. That's what I love about Krita. And then of course the Clip Studio Paint, you can use it anywhere as well. All of these except the 3D software. The 3D software demand a lot of graphics. So that's all I'm gonna say. So yes, that's the thing when it comes to that. When it comes to what you call this thing, when it comes to animation. And also with your phone, you can use flipper clip. It doesn't choose on what you need. You just go and you animate. It's beautiful. Yes, so that's basically it. But then again, the most important thing that you need for you to start animating is the willpower. If you have the willpower to become an animator, you will become an animator. That's basically the whole thing. That's what you need. And then, of course, if you're going to start with an animation, with any animation project, you need to start with the script, or let me just say with the screenwriting, with your ideas. You write your ideas down, you know, you write your ideas, down, you script write, script, you write your script, you do your storyboard. I will teach you how to do a storyboard, by the way. You can do your storyboard. Oh, by the way, the drawing softwares, you can also make manga on them. My bad. You can make manga on Krita, you can make manga on Clip Studio Paint. You get what I mean? Blender, no, not so much. I could be wrong, but I mean so far not so much. Yeah, your storyboard, your animatics, animatics, storyboard animatics, cleanup, the cleanup, shading. So yes, that's basically it when it comes to animation. This is basically like a basic workflow. So you need to have an idea, of course, and then you need to put that idea into script. So you need to storyboard. Storyboarding is basically it's a script that's been drawn. It's a drawn script basically. So what it is, it's because everything starts off with a storyboard, manga, movies, and all that. So it's basically a rough draft on okay, exactly what is it that that you're doing, and what you're gonna animate and what direction you're gonna take. That's basically a storyboard. I'll actually give you some examples. Right. Let me give you some examples when it comes to that. So I'm just gonna storyboard. So I'm just gonna show you what the storyboard actually looks like. Yeah, this is basically a storyboard. You know, it's just a sequence of drawings that's gonna take you to a certain direction that okay, this is what I want to animate. So you read the script, you get the general idea, then you storyboard it, and then from there, that's when you create animatics. Animatics animatics are basically animate it's an animated storyboard. So an animatic is an animated storyboard. That's what it is. And then, of course, the cleanup is the fine lines after that. So when the animatics are done, once all your in betweening and your keyframes have been placed and everything, then you clean up. So it's no longer gonna be now the rough drawings. It's not gonna be a much more clean drawing, like the fine lines and all that. And then, of course, there's I almost forgot coloring. But then again, coloring, shading, it's the same thing. They're both in the same category. So you just color in, you add base colors, you shade them, you can add lighting, yada yada, or rendering. You can do that. So yes, that's basically it when it comes to the whole pipeline or the workflow when it comes to animation. So this is the main skeleton of it, right? It does go deep, but not that deep, but yeah, this is it when it comes to animation. The basic the main pipeline. So this is Blizzard Ninja signing out. I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao.